12, 2013. We're going to get started with roll call. Commissioner Yower?
Here.
Commissioner Rosales?
Here.
Judge Shaw's here. Commissioner Dubnik?
Here.
Commissioner Schindler?
Here.
Please stand and join us in opening prayer and stand for the pledge of allegiance. Heavenly Father, we ask for your guidance as we make decisions for the county today. We ask that you be with our veterans as they remember their time of remembrance. And we ask that you be with their troops wherever they may be, and that people travel to and from safely and all over travel. In your name we pray.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any citizens to be heard?
None.
Did anybody sign? Chief, look on that table and see if anybody signed anything and left it there. No? Thank you. We're going to do a little bit of skipping. We've got a couple of visitors that we've got to get moving. So I'd like let's skip to, let me find you, David. I wasn't going to do this. Number 11, we're going to go to number 11, which is going to be discuss, approve, disapprove, publishing notice of public hearing on creation of benefits of the county transportation reinvestment zone. And Mr. Anthony's got to appear in the Wood County Commissioner's Court after he gets through with us, so.
That's the one order. Okay, so first item is public hearing, and as a part of Senate Bill 1747, in order to create transportation reinvestment zone, you're required first to hold a public hearing. So in order to get this zone created in 2013, so it's on the books December 31st, we're in a hurry. If you want to delay it, you can, but I would recommend going ahead and publishing notice, holding a public hearing, and you can create the zone time after that. You need at least 7 days notice to create the zone after you've had the public hearing. So I would say let's go get the public hearing going, and let's pick a date, let's advertise. If you guys want to try and get it in tomorrow's paper, it'll be 30 days from that date. Thereafter, you can hold a public hearing, and then once you've had the public hearing, there's another 7 days required for notice in order to create the terms. So that's a minimum of 37 days, and the newspaper has to be coordinated so that you get those as short as possible. And if you want to try and get it done by December 31st, we need to get that authorized today. So if there's any questions, that's the bonus of it. That's what we're talking about. You have to create terms in order to apply for the money. It's a grant, you're not competing for it. It's a portion based on formulas that the state has set up. So not much argument about how much. It's just if you want to go get it, I think we all want to go get it. It could be substantial. So this is one step along the way. I'd say.
All we need to do is,
I talked with Zaffarini Friday. I called her earlier in the day, and I talked with Rachel McClure, her secretary, her liaison. And she said what she was telling me that we're on track with what we're trying to do now, because if we don't, she says, the rumor is there is a fine window in February. It'll be like 1 week that they're going to pick. And then if you don't have your stuff within that 1 week, you're just out of luck. So a lot of counties are sitting back and waiting. Not to explain to her what we had been looking at with Ronnie and everything, and she said that we should proceed, just get everything started, and get everything running now, get the clock going now, so we'll be ahead of the game. Because once we have to do the inventory of all the roads and stuff, that's going to take a little time, and then everything else with taxing purposes and stuff, we'll have to know exactly what's going on. So, but she strongly said that she advised, the Senator advised that we continue to go forward.
I stay in touch with Jason Hazy, I go through this. Can I ask you a question? Do you have an extra?
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Do you want to hear?
Like I said, if you want to start the process now, and at some point after the 25th, when all the numbers are out, figure out exactly how much is your portion, you can always delay it at that point, or something changes, about the way things are talking about it, delay it at that point. So it's better to get started now, and go from there.
Are you gonna go to Tyler for the hearing?
I'm planning to do this.
I make a motion to approve item 11 as written.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. I have a, number 12 is discuss, approve, disapprove, publishing notice of intent to create a county energy transportation reinvestment fund.
This is the part I mentioned earlier, it comes after the public hearing. You can go ahead and authorize this to be published now, you can select the day of the vote.
Okay, you know what, I was just looking at this. I'm gonna have to call Jim and ask him what unit count is. Because this is the one that Jim Allison sent out is for the precincts. I haven't looked at that yet. Has he looked at any of those? Jensen?
No.
Intent to advertise and we're supposed to do it?
Okay.
Okay. That's, because we're just a little bit different.
Right, because of the system.
Yes, sir. Okay, so we can go ahead.
I think you can go ahead and authorize it
Okay.
now. Anyway.
Okay.
I'll make the motion to approve item number 12 as presented.
I see.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Number 13 is to discuss, approve, disapprove, publishing a notice of intent to solicit engineering services related to implementation of Senate Bill 1747.
I think it'd be appropriate for me to present that one because David may be into consideration. I think at this time it's incumbent on us because of the size of the expenditure, obviously would most likely exceed 50,000. So we need to advertise that we intend to solicit engineering services for the purpose of implementing 1747. This is needed. Put together an advertisement, present it, solicit proposals, and then the court can come back and select the proposals.
And can I ask you this, Ronnie, are you and Mike going to get that advertisement ready and just go ahead and submit it?
Yes, we just need the court approval.
Okay, if we can approve it with this, we won't need to see it again prior to.
No.
We're going to solicit the rest of professional services.
Procurement.
He's in our budget already for the Bowman Road and Bridge side
Right.
of the budget, so we're actually using him in addition.
In addition to that, of course, the judge is aware of the whole court's benefit. Whatever funds we receive from 1747, up to 5%, not to exceed 250,000, can be used for administrative costs and could go to offset this cost
For implementation.
for implementation.
Actually would be an RFQ or request for qualifications.
You're exactly right.
RFP.
That's the correct word.
And it's not necessary, it's optional because it is a professional service.
Well,
It
under
would be
the
RFP.
professional code from the engineering's perspective,
Yes.
they have to. We have to. So I think we should, I mean, in either case, I think we should.
Right.
I'll make a motion we approve item 13 as written.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Judge just in a second time, number 22, David said,
That's the one I just had to get a copy of, this is capital.
Yes.
That is correct?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. I passed out the newest and latest greatest version of the contract that you authorized a couple of months ago. Looks like this, 20 pages. These are the roads that Ronnie and I sat down, lined out, we substituted one from the list that's already been paid. We took actually, well, Don Road was 326.
I'm sorry, it hadn't been paid, it was 326. We substituted it in there because of the traffic volume.
Right.
It's one of the bond roads that has been built up, but not paid.
Right, one of the ones that was on the list, I think, was paid.
Okay.
We were
Okay.
that one. Anyway, so what you have in front of you is a cover page showing pricing for the various roads based on distance and whatnot. The whole assumption here is if we can't close the road, so we're building it in two pieces, that we're building it strong enough to hold the traffic that we anticipate coming in the future. And we're also, at this point, not looking to streamline the pricing, we're just looking for some basic, reliable pricing so that we can use this when to go make application in February for the 1747 month. And so you can see there are plenty of projects that we need to get done. And we can always look to lessen the amount we spend on these, customizing the design when the time comes. So hopefully it doesn't cost more than this, and we ask for plenty of money.
And on the back side, there's a schedule, just like it takes, may take County Road, 111. We have that capture directly, this many schedule, like, it may take, what, like 7?
Right. So each estimate on the back side has a chart that shows the time for preparing plans, the time for procuring contractors, the time for actually getting the construction done. So each project has that kind of schedule. That's part of what we have to show them in the application, is the time schedule. Okay, so any questions about this? This can be updated anytime. We just need to have something to go forward with.
Okay, that's what Renee's presentation is here.
Right.
Now, when we go to create these, we're going to use 3 local, 2 public entities.
You have to have at least one private sector field and up to 3. And then you must have 2 public members. So you can have as little as 3, as few as 3 people, as many as 5.
Okay.
So that's completely within the court's decision.
We'll start figuring out how to consolidate from the call you to make sure
Okay.
that you and I are on the same page with
You
the
bet.
students and thing, make sure we're going to the right way.
Okay. That's great.
Any other questions today?
Now, there are other things that are involved in putting together an application. It's not urgent right now, so we're not talking about it today. There's just a lot of things that we need to do along the way. Public hearing is most urgent, creating the terms. We need to get the road condition reports done, and Ryan's working on that. Just several things that we all need to coordinate together and solve that.
Okay. Thank you, David.
You're welcome.
Number 23 is going to be a presentation by Dustin, you said at Mahalik, CPA audit manager from right out there at CPA, so business consultant for Karnes County EMS.
So basically what we've done, us as a CPA firm, we came in and we talked to Judge Shaw. We were engaged by the county to come in and do what we call in the profession as a consulting engagement for home internal controls. And what specifically we looked at was the Karnes County EMS division. And I'm going to kind of give you the scope of the work that we did, and then Angel, as a CPA, will present the procedures and findings with that. We were engaged to obtain information about the Karnes County EMS department and its internal controls over cash, accounts receivable, accounts payable, and disbursements, and payroll and employee reimbursements. Our engagement will include, or did include, interviews, observations, and other procedures we deem necessary, whereas specifically requested by management. Although our observation period began July 1, 2011, and ended July 30 or June 30th, 2013, interviews and various individuals directed our attention to review evidence outside of this time window, specifically through September 2013, for concerns related to potential fraudulent activity. Based on our assessment of the situation and the following procedures were performed as they were deemed necessary. they were deemed to pose the greatest risk to the county. We did not and do not express an opinion of assurance, the effectiveness of internal controls, financial statements, or any other matter.
Let me just emphasize that, we are not expressing an opinion on anything here. We basically just did procedures around speaking with employees and making some observations. So these were our observations. Here are the procedures that we performed. The first one is around payroll. Inquiry with various EMS and other county personnel regarding payroll duties and the EMS payroll system. Obtain payroll information, including September 2013 duty roster, which is Exhibit A, from Auditor's Office. Reviewed EMS September run tally, which is Exhibit B, and compared to duty roster. EMS supervision and billing. Inquiry with various EMS and other county personnel regarding EMS director activities and EMS billing system. Obtained EMS run tally for the examination period from current Karnes County EMS director. Reviewed EMS run sequence to ensure completeness of our list. Inquiry with AR Management Solutions representatives regarding billed amounts for the examination period and the lapse in Medicare billing certification. Obtained billing summary from the examination period. Compared EMS run tally to billing summary for the examination period. Obtained EMS deposits for the period under examination from Karnes County Treasurer's Office. Finally were procedures around the Medicare certification. We inquired with Medicare representatives regarding the lapse in Medicare billing certification, the process for recertification, and the recovery of funds submitted for collection and declining. These are our noted findings and risks. It was noted that on January 1st, 2013, Commissioner Dupnick was sworn in as County Commissioner. Mr. Dupnick continued to work as an emergency medical technician for the Karnes County EMS Department during his tenure as County Commissioner. He also served as a payroll clerk for the EMS Department, which included calculating payroll for EMS employees and forwarding to the County Auditor and Treasurer's payment. It was later discovered by the county, as reflected in Attorney General Opinion Number GA-0645, which is Exhibit C, that Mr. Dupnick was not legally allowed to be compensated for work performed outside of his duties as Commissioner. County Auditor records, which is Exhibit D, reflect that Mr. Dupnick collected a total of $8,427 through June of 2013. As a result, these amounts were reimbursed to the county on August 21st, 2013, which is Exhibit D. Mr. Dupnick continued to work on a volunteer basis and performed the payroll functions for EMS. In spite of the circumstances, our firm noted that Mr. Dupnick performed EMT services on September 19, 2013 in place of his wife, Gretchen Dupnick, also an EMT for which she was paid for the entire shift. For our discussion with various other EMS personnel, there were various occasions that Mr. Dupnick performed service runs in place of Mrs. Dupnick for which she was paid. Employees also indicated that similar work situations arose between Mr. John Smart, former EMS director, and his wife, Norm Smart. Employees also confirmed that while under the control of Mr. Dupnick, EMS payroll was regularly miscalculated. Several employees asserted that their paychecks were understated on multiple occasions. When approached by those who were shorted on their paycheck, Mr. Dupnick's reply was that he would add more to the next paycheck. A shortfall in payroll compliance presents a potential liability to the county that could trigger Texas Workforce Commission and/or Internal Revenue Service audits. Anything other than accurate payroll also leaves the county open to potential future lawsuits from former and current employees of the county. Next were risks and findings for EMS supervision and billing. The control exercised by Mr. John Smart, former EMS director, whether self-imposed or appointed, touched almost every facet of the accounting cycle for EMS. Various accounting personnel Various accounting personnel confirmed that Mr. Smart had no accountability to the accounting office and submitted checks received for deposit as he saw fit. Mr. Smart also did not provide reconciliations between runs made by county EMS and runs submitted to AR Management Solutions for billing. Therefore, when patients or their legal representatives called for details regarding their bill, Mr. Smart was the only individual able to provide an answer. There are also reports by employees that Gretchen Dupnick was able to access patient records from previous EMS runs that she was not directly involved in. The information was accessed by Mrs. Dupnick for her own purpose. This alleged behavior is a direct violation of Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA. In regards to the amounts collected by the county for EMS services, of the $718,300 county revenue billed for EMS services over the 2-year period under review, $468,140 has not been collected, of which $165,762 was for Medicare payments unable to be paid due to a lapse in Medicare billing certification. Starting on July 1st, 2013 through September 24th, 2013, an additional $33,833 has not been collected due to this lapse, producing a grand total of $199,595 not collected from Medicare. Based on our testing of the 1,986 runs generated by the Sheriff's Office for the review period, only 3 were missing. We also noted that from those runs, approximately 86 viable runs were never sent to AR Management Solutions for billing. We estimated that these EMS runs would have generated approximately $47,300 based on the average amount billed for a single EMS run. The lapse in Medicare receipts is evident in the significant drop in EMS deposits beginning in May of 2012. Various EMS employees also expressed concern as to the equipment procurement process and the control of equipment thereafter. Employees stated that there have been varying amounts of new equipment ordered, particularly computer equipment, none of which is in the control of the current EMS administration or the county. Lack of sufficient segregation of duties, privacy control, and oversight of the EMS department in general provided an opportunity for potential fraud and the violation of federal laws. Finally, our risks around Medicare certification. Based on our conversations with Medicare representatives, Karnes County billing certification lapsed on May 15, 2012, and as of October 16, 2013, was still not in good standing. The major reason for the lapse was the failure to respond to revalidation in a timely manner. Representatives advised our firm that Form 855B was required in order to be prepared and filed with Medicare in order to reinstate their certification. Per our discussion with Luana Kasperzik, County Auditor, this form was filed on October 16, 2013. A Medicare representative did express, however, that it is likely that the county will be able to recover most, if not all, of the $199,595 in rejected claims once the certification has been reinstated and the county resubmits those bills for payment. Here are our recommendations based on our findings. Payroll. The payroll function should be performed by county personnel outside of EMS, preferably by an employee in the accounting or finance-related role. Errors in payroll should be corrected at the time any errors are detected. Potential procedures might include reconciling hours worked by EMS staff, cross-checking EMS work rosters to monthly run sheets to ensure that those were listed on the roster or making runs, if any were made. Recommendations around EMS supervision. Duties for billing, deposits, cash and check handling, posting to journal should all be separate. A controlled procurement system and related protocols by the county should be created to maintain control of county assets to prevent misuse or theft. Sensitive information such as patient records and run information should be kept under lock and key and in control of senior personnel. Recommendations around Medicare certification. We recommend that the county appoint an employee other than the EMS director to keep track of Medicare certification and prepare forms as they are due. Monthly reconciliation of amounts billed to Medicare should be performed in conjunction conjunction with other billing reconciliations mentioned above. Should you have any further questions regarding the report, please feel free to contact us.
Do you think we can get some of that money back?
Oh, yeah.
What is an 855 fee? Is
It's-
that hard
The
to fill out?
enrollment form to Medicare, it requires a bunch of information that we did not have. I have submitted it to Pamela Weiss, who is our assigned credentialing specialist. I received the MPI, which is the National Provider Identifier Number, reinstated last week, which I faxed to her on Friday, which was the last piece she was missing, so hopefully we will have the reinstatement within the next 10 days.
And then we should be able to get our money.
Well,
And then all those claims will have to be filed.
according to the conversation we had with the Medicare representative, she says there's a high, it's very likely that you can get reimbursed, or not, like we put in the report, possibly all of it.
Originally, when I spoke with Pamela, when she first was assigned to the county's case, she had indicated that it's normal to go back 30 days, but in extenuating circumstances, we could apply for a waiver to go back further.
So that's what we're going to do.
And do y'all have the name of who y'all talked to at Medicare?
I don't think we did.
We have specific contact information, so we would be able to probably get back in contact with them.
According to this, you talked to everybody, why didn't you talk to me?
We spoke with representatives who either reached out to us or were available to us at the time we came out here. And we used basically what was in our exhibits. Whatever was on the roster, whatever was on the run sheet was the information that we went on, as they are county records.
But still answer my question, why did you talk to me?
We talked to the employees who were,
Why did you not talk to me?
because you weren't working that day, we talked to the employees who were working.
I have a phone.
There was no name on the phone number. We talked to the employees. Our procedure was to talk to the employees working.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, you're all right. What number did you start with? 14? Yes, 14. Number 14 is approved USA Architects as owner's representative in the amount of $2,500 for the 18-month for Karnes County Courthouse Phase 1B new roof project for design construction of documented meeting phase 1202B.
This relates to, on the last court meeting, you approved for Graham Bloom to go forward with those documents. And so this is our proposal to maintain our relationship with you as the owner's representative to work in review of those documents, coordinating with Graham Bloom and the Texas Historical Commission and you.
Wasn't all this done at one time, the whole building?
I'm sorry?
Wasn't all this design stuff included in one time in the whole building?
It's been by phase, because we didn't, the roof phase was just brought up recently as a result of when the Texas Historical Commission had stated that, or when things came through with the Texas Historical Commission, that there was not going to be funding really for a phase two. The best chance for the county to get any money in this phase, or in this round of Texas Historical Commission, is to try to do an emergency type funding. And your roof could comply with emergency funding. So that's the documents that were approved last court meeting for Graham Bloom to be able to do those documents to do the new roof at the courthouse, which you're going to need. And if you can get any money from the Texas Historical Commission on that, now would be the time under the emergency type funding. And then this is, so that was Graham Bloom's proposal, and then this is ours to continue as your
ago, we did talk about this. Reasonable thing to do.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, but
I
I
talked
just,
about that.
I thought maybe it was all done in the first go around. I thought everything, the whole building was designed, so each one would have one cost, other than each street and every little project. That was my,
Which in the budget too, we had in there to make plans for the whole building, but that cost too much, we cut that out, just limited to the roof.
okay.
Anyway, I'll make a motion that we approve USA according to Item 14. Written.
And then we only. I'll second it.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Number 15 is select TSI laboratories for construction materials testing for Karnes County Courthouse and its north parking lot. Project 1304, that's Lorraine.
We got this too.
So TSI Laboratories is the testing laboratory that is doing your testing on your courthouse. And so they gave us a proposal to do the testing laboratory services for the courthouse parking lot that will be required for the construction documents. And the not-to-exceed price is $2,894. And this, again, is based on the documents and what's required in the documents to be able to test the base and concrete and pavement that goes down on the parking lot project. And this TSI, as the testing laboratory, construction materials testing, will work directly for Karnes County. And so therefore, their loyalty and allegiance is to you to make sure that everything is tested properly, and it ensures that the quality of the work in place at the parking lot. We have to testify.
Yeah, we have to test the concrete, we have to test it.
You just want to touch your construction, right?
Yes.
You do nothing prior.
Well, prior to the geotech was used from this existing building, which saved the county having to do another geotechnical investigation. And so this will test the materials that go in place. It will test to make sure that the subgrade, which is there existing, is prepared properly. And then all of the fill material that goes in underneath your parking lot is properly compacted. The correct materials in there are properly compacted. And then, of course, the concrete that goes in place.
And exactly what is it? Refresh my mind, what is geotechnical testing?
The geotechnical is where the laboratory comes out and drills down into the ground, doing borings to check and see what material we're going to be bearing on. And that's required anytime you do construction because, of course, the design of the fill material and the materials that go in place are based on what you're bearing on. Is it elastic? Is it plastic? Does it have clay?
Okay,
How much
water.
water?
Okay, we have water in this building.
There was not any concerns from the civil engineer when we reused the existing geotech.
So Gary, you're going to do that?
Yes, ma'am. Take care of it.
Well, I make a motion that we select TSI laboratories for construction materials testing for Karnes County Court and its north parking lot. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Let's go over there. Hold on, let me sign this, Tracy. Wait, there's a second page in there. How many do you need, Tracy? Lauren,
I'm sorry.
you just need two?
Yeah,
Gary
one
needs
for,
11, 12,
Yes. Did I say that backwards?
Okay. Number 16 is presentation on proposals submitted. Did I say? Do I call the vote, Carol?
Yeah, this is,
Number 16 is presentation on proposals submitted for the construction of the Karnes County Courthouse Annex North Parking Lot project, including the evaluation and ranking of offers based on the best value criteria as published in the request for proposals 1304, and that's the line.
Okay, and I handed out a chart like this for each of you. And the offers came in, there were 5 offers that were received. The low offer was from Presidio Contracting, $145,233. Second low offer is M2 Federal Inc. at $147,487. Then Cass Companies, $188,883. MJ Oil was $196,000, and HNC West was $205,000. So there was a good spread. One of the problems is, getting concrete. Concrete is, there's one place to get concrete, and you have to schedule it way in advance, et cetera. So that was one item that contractors indicated, was a driving factor, and maybe the ability of one contractor to feel comfortable getting the concrete faster and at a better price versus the other contractors, and then of course just the activity in the area. So what we did is we ranked 45% of the value was put towards the purchase price. So I read the contractors in order of the offers. So Presidio ranked number 10, and then M2 Federal was number 9. HNC West as the lowest offer, or the highest offer, had the lowest score, number 1, and then 2 and 3 for MJ Oil and Cass. Time was rated at 5%. Presidio had a time of 45 days, which ranked them at 6, and M2 Federal had 21 days, ranking them at 10. Another Cass Companies, 45 days, ranking at 6, and then MJ Oil and HNC both at 70 days, which gave them a ranking of 1. So after we did the initial rankings, what we did is we took the 2 low contractors and we started checking their reputation, capability, and references. When we checked those and they came in very, very high, we then, the other 3 contractors, even if they scored a 10, they would not be in the running for the top 2. So we did not go forward in checking all the references for the other 3. The top 2 contractors, Presidio and M2 Federal, they both have the ability the financial capabilities to do the project, and in fact, Presidio, their typical projects that they go after is very high, in the hundreds of millions of dollars. So they definitely have the financial capabilities and staffing to be able to do the work. In their safety and financials, they both have 0 claims on OSHA and safety. So they both ranked a 10 on that, and then they have the bonding capacity to be able to bond the project. Experience with Karnes County and other public entity, they both had no experience with Karnes, but they do have experience, working with public entities, which is important because you have different requirements and rules that we want to make sure the contractors are aware of. And then on the references, when we check their references, and the people that will be handling your project, they both ranked 10. Anybody that we called said that the quality of the work was good. They would most definitely hire them again, and gave very strong references for both companies. So with that being said, the overall ranking ends up being Presidio at 9.8, and then M2 Federal at 9.5. And Presidio was your lowest offer at $145,233. Since you had 2 contractors, both that were quality contractors in the $140,000 range, we feel very comfortable that they are your best value. Everybody else would have been up high, and we would have had only 1 down that low. We would have been very concerned to find out what is the reason. And Presidio and M2 Federal both felt very confident that their offer is doable, and they didn't have any concerns about any mistakes or any misunderstandings with the documents or with their offer. So we would On this one, it's really just a presentation of me giving you the information for this agenda item on the evaluation of the offers.
So we'll move to number 17, which is discuss award the Karnes County Courthouse Annex parking lot. Annex North parking lot project to the highest ranked offer and authorize the county judge to execute the contract for construction on behalf of the county.
And so on this item, these two items are worded the same as the attorney had worded on the jail project for us to present the evaluation to you. And then the attorney, Mr. Chapman, that you have working with you on construction contracts will assist in putting together that contract for you. And then we want to be able to have the notice to proceed go out as soon as that's negotiated, as soon as Presidio would provide all of the required documents, bonding, insurance, et cetera, and the attorney is satisfied, and the engineers and myself are satisfied that all the information is in place, and allow the judge to go ahead and sign that contract and get started on the project.
The city will have the best price. And they seem like they're very qualified.
Yes, sir.
They're within the budget too.
I would make the motion to award to Presidio Contracting LLC and authorize County Judge Barbara Shaw to execute the contract for the construction on behalf of the county.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Do you have it, Lorraine?
Well, not yet. The attorney's gonna, yes, give us what we need to sign on that. And then the next item has to do with the jail, but it's yours, Commissioner Gonzalez, so I didn't know.
That's okay.
What might be to look
And
at.
which one is that one?
The easement,
Okay, number 18.
Let's discuss it.
because I have the jail plan on my phone, so we can look at it and make sure
Sure.
there's no conflict.
Discuss, approve, disapprove an easement exchange of land near the jail property for the city of Karnes City for city flood benefit.
I discussed this with the city and I have it right here, what we discussed. Lorraine was, see, we're sitting right here, and here's the park. Kevin, you have it there? Or Don, either one. Right here, here's the park right here, and here's, they want that little corner piece right there, this is the one where the flumes are gonna go into right here, see that west flume right here that goes into that? That little piece, that west piece right there, they wanna switch that with us to have their park square and give us this 10 feet. We have an easement now right now, give us that for that, they need a 10-foot easement right there, I went and met them.
It's just still on
All they want is that little piece, switch it off for this little piece.
Does that mean though, that the engineer would have to redesign this, or we can still do what?
You can still do it, but we just want to square this up.
I mean,
It's not really really
as long as, I guess, the wording, I'm not an attorney, but the wording needs to allow us, I mean, this site is so tight, it really has to go in like this. We need this drainage, you've got a lot of water back here that has to
drainage
go.
is pretty good. This side here is the drainage is
Well, we can pull it over here. Yes, sir.
but there isn't much to pull back.
I would have to get my civil in. As long as, I mean, the easement, we have no problem with on the design side, as long as we can still continue with this design. This is a concrete flume that has to go in, and Carrie, there's a lot of water back here that has to be dealt with. And if we try to move this over, then the civil engineer kind of tell me it's not going to work. And then we have this whole
You
concrete.
would have all this area here, you would be taking material out. Because it's great.
Right, yeah, but this is, yeah, this is the plan that makes this site work. Yeah. And we can certainly ask him, and I can have him come back and present. But my understanding is this is the only option on making all of the drainage work.
How it's over here, we have utilities. You can do that. We're going to have to ask you.
Well, the easement, Well, and that's fine. I mean, it's under parking, it's not under a building.
No, where do you want to put the school? The school's over there.
This is, I'm gonna need to get our civil engineer to talk. I mean, this is something I feel like more complicated
See
than.
actually where that line is, where the proposed projected community.
So we're gonna have to be out there.
Yeah. But this area here that we're kind of discussing, you got trees right there.
Yeah, I just spoken with Kevin, and I figured that we have to talk with you, and we might have to get a little bit further, but I don't have a problem in switching that to the other one, as long as we can find out what we can do with these fields. I don't know, if they can be shifted back a little bit past that. I don't know how far it goes into there, but something might be able to do.
Where you have your proposed steps out right now, for your structure steps, it's trees right there.
And it'll be right up on top of the sidewalk, the walkway, that's where they need that easement. And it's not a full 10 feet, right in.
And this was all proposed out. Nothing's up there. Where they want it is.
Everything is crunched up right there.
I just have to get the civil engineer, because he's the one that coordinated everything down here. And I know that this was a concern, a big concern for him.
Yeah, we can come out with this and everything. If you come and contact,
Just if you don't come, I'm going to ask him to come and coordinate with you. And go check.
James, how much water is going to do?
We have one of the
whatever comes off of it from the normal lanes, it's,
No.
But
Herb, do we have, since we're gonna start looking into this and trying to see if we can get this done, do we need a motion on some, the legality of looking into it? So I can be present, he can be present, or somebody can be
You
present?
two can both go, as long as there's not a quorum.
No, I understand, but I mean, because we're gonna start looking into it, we're gonna bring the civil engineer right here on, we have discussed approve an easement or exchange of land. Do we have to make a motion to legally go out there and start meeting on this?
I would like to have one, but I don't think it's necessary. I'm concerned about it because it's going to alter the contract that we have involved there. If we could hold up until the end of the construction project, it's about a year down the road, we would be in better shape because we're altering a site where we've signed a contract with a contractor specifically to function on that site. If you start altering, then we've got to go back and start another process over.
What Kevin just made us aware that there may be some tendencies under where we're gonna place the flume, so I think that we need to investigate this now before the flume is put into place. If we wait for a year and it's already done, then we might have some issues later on in the year.
Then do the motion, but my concern has to do with the motion
Understand.
altering the contract. Those lines were there before we signed the contract. To change anything right now isn't my only concern, but yes, we need a motion.
Okay, we don't have it explained like that in item number 18, to have a motion to be able to go out there and do that. How do you want us to do that?
They can just go investigate it, but they're not taking any action.
No, we're not taking any action, but
just give
just because, you know, we're up here and we sit here, we're watched all the time, I would feel more comfortable doing this 100%, you know, like that.
So instead of approving it, let's make a motion to investigate.
But we don't have it written out like that, so.
Well, but it's still discussion, motion approved, disapprove, easement or exchange, so we can investigate the easement or exchange.
Want to put it on as investigator, an alternate? How do you want to put it?
Just to investigate the easement or exchange. Or to look into.
Allowing any one of us to do it?
You
or-
two. Because if you allow anybody to do it, you're going to push people up there, what happens? So you two can go do it. How's that?
How should we set that motion legally?
Is that fine, Herb?
Yes. Because all we're doing is looking into it. Before we do anything, we've got to come back to the question.
Exactly right. We're not going to make a decision out there at all. And I'll work with Kevin on it whenever he needs me. He can call me. I know Pete's real busy. I'll work with him. Mr. Don Timber, city manager, if they need anything from me, I'll be available.
So we'll just make a
So,
motion to approve looking into an easement exchange allowing you to do so near the jail property in conjunction with the civil engineer Lorraine. I make that
Is
motion.
that fine?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Thanks, Herb.
Thank you.
Kevin, Don? That way we can move forward on this immediately.
Oh, yes, we're gonna, number 19, James has told me we're gonna pass number 19.
We're gonna go ahead and pass number 19 on this.
Number 20 is discuss, approve, disapprove bonding, Zane Reese. Bonding is necessary in order to carry out all maintenance duties as a maintenance supervisor.
Zane's doing a good job as a supervisor. He's authorized to buy materials and select materials for us, so he needs to be bonded.
He is covered under the employee blanket law.
He's covered.
Under the employee blanket law, yes. But all other employees are covered that aren't officials.
And you're saying he does not need any bonding?
Under my interpretation of the laws.
Okay, I just want to make sure he's covered.
So we can just acknowledge he's employed, I mean, he's covered under the employee blanket bond.
Pass it.
Number 21 is discuss, approve, disapprove a waiver of vacation days carryover for Joe Cruz pursuant to Karnes County Personnel Policy Manual Policy of Vacation, Section 201, page 203, Item 11, D. That's Pete Zane, sorry, Pete Zane.
Okay, first thing is discharging, there's a few things he doesn't know about it. Joe has vacation days, so Joe doesn't really want to take it right now, he wants his time later, but he said that, Zane said he'd like for him to be around, not take off 2 weeks at a time. So I'm requesting that we waive vacation days carry over Joe Cruz. Do we have to put a time on that?
It would be best to get it used up as soon as possible because he's way over the maximum carryover time. Do you remember what it is? How many days he's over?
I don't want to say because I don't know.
But technically, you're not supposed to carry more than 5 days, and he probably has weeks carryover.
And I think it's the second time we've amended that.
That's
already
correct.
with him.
I understood that he got his time down. What it's supposed to be.
No, he's got a major carryover plus the 2 weeks he just got on his anniversary.
Manage his time now, get it down.
Yeah, I want to give him 6 months. So actually, need at least 120 days.
So he has a event coming up that he's gonna need time off for, is that what you're saying later?
Well, he said he wants the time off a little later.
Okay, so he might have something coming up family-wise or something where he's gonna be gone for a while, and he wants that time.
Like him before he retires or something?
Well, he's not eligible to retire.
Don't know anything about it.
Well, I think there still needs to be a specified timeline that he needs to get this reduced by. Because it's the same thing that happened last year. He was gonna get them all done when you came to court the last time and asked for the waiver, he didn't get them all done.
And that is something that we are proposing in the new policy manual change, anytime on comp or vacation, that the Commissioners Court set a specific time that they have to use up that extra time, like 90 days or a month, whatever. That is something we are going to propose also.
All right, I don't know the specific plans. If we give him 6 months, definitely get to that time already. If you want to get it, that's fair enough. I'll make that vote.
What if he doesn't use it in 6 months?
He loses
it.
So it's specified.
So it's 6 months from today.
Okay.
Pete made the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Number 24 is discuss, approve, disapprove, discuss, approve, setting timeline and update on building repairs to building located at 200 East Calvert.
Okay, when we did the budget, we had a lot of, the risk management people came in and said, we need to get these locks fixed, we need to fix the floor, there's a lot of safety issues that we need to take care of. My question is, I think, we got Zane, do we need to start getting some of this stuff done? Because if we don't, it may not ever get done, and something we'll put in the budget to do, so we need to, I think, expedite this as quick as possible. And that's for y'all, conversation, bye.
You know, James and I have kind of talked about this before, because I don't know where to start. I have no clue which paint comes first, the floors, whatever. And I think we're trying to let Zane kind of get his feet wet a little bit before the three of us meet, to talk about the timeline on that. So we are working on that, Shelby. It's-
Okay, but I just want to make sure
Yeah.
that we don't forget about it.
No, we won't. Trust me, we won't. Every time I use the restroom, I remind myself.
Because this stuff here has been set since July. When the risk manager guy came by.
Right, and some of the stuff in our building, we have changed, that Zane changed out the electrical outlet that was too close to the water. When Avaya was there, adding my second line, we had them move the shelf over. We were working on the doors, so, on our building, yes.
Okay, and also, the security of that building and the entrance, my concern, somebody could trip on those.
Yes, yes. And he knew,
And the door.
was it David? Right, guy from the TAP, his name was David? He knew that a lot of that stuff had to be put in the budget because we didn't have money in July, and he was giving us the 6 months or so to get everything fixed, so we are working on that.
Okay.
And a lot of the work's gonna be done by outside contractors, so we'll have to coordinate.
Yeah, we have to coordinate everything. And like I said,
I just
don't
don't want
know.
us to let it sit back and wait till the last
Yes.
minute.
No,
We got
no.
time we got to start planning some of this.
Yeah, and that's
out.
part of the deal. I just don't know what to start with first, so I just needed a little help, and James and we talked about getting Zane to come in.
Just call me if you got some time this week, call me whenever you got
Okay.
a chance, and I'll get a hold of Zane and go up there.
Because then I can start getting hold of the people that
Sure.
are doing it, getting the timeline going. Thank you, Sheldon.
So Shelby, on number 24, do you want just acknowledgement
Yeah,
of
just
that?
I just want to make sure that everybody knows about it.
Okay.
I don't want nobody to forget it. That's what I'm saying.
But some of the stuff needed to be repaired here too, like the loading dock back here needs to have a yellow paint across it.
You got it.
So, I mean, Jess Williams almost stepped off it the other day because he didn't realize that was a drop off. I think there was a couple other things that need to be done at this building also. We probably need to give Zane that list.
I noticed that striping is on there, right? Stone striping.
So is there striping on there now? Okay. I don't remember any other items that needed to be fixed. Okay.
Okay.
Number 25 is discuss status on capital expenditures as approved in the county budget fiscal year 2014-2015. I think that should be 2013-2014.
I put that on there also again, capital expenditures, things that we've talked about or we've set in budget. I just want to make sure that if we're working on something, everybody knows about it. Number one is we talked about the stuff with Calhoun's calendar. 210, we got, what about the fire alarm system? After last meeting, it's been bugging the heck out of me that we don't have a fire alarm system that focuses on these
Okay,
buildings.
whether they've been here or not, I called, I mailed in the contract for them, they called about something, got the information, and supposedly had all the information they needed, they're supposed to be here, but they did not contact me.
Who's that?
Karnes,
CSI.
CSI.
And also, can somebody tell me why this building doesn't have fire alarm? Sprinkler system, does it require to have sprinkler systems? I just,
What?
why we don't have sprinkler systems or some type of system, suppression system in this building, because
Well, those pipes would look pretty nasty hanging from the ceiling, there's no ceiling space in it. I don't know what to require.
I'm just asking because we've got records in district clerk's office and in the county clerk's office, and if we ever had a fire or something, I think those are pretty important things to keep track of. I mean, I'm just asking because to me, it doesn't make sense to have a building, no type of suppression system in the building. Every building I've been to has had some type of suppression system.
And that might have been a building code thing, and I asked Don if the city of, Karnes City required new buildings to have fire.
I think it's only if they're multi-level, like.
I don't know. he didn't, wasn't sure either. That might have been one of the reasons, but I agree, kind of silly.
I'm sure the code would clarify.
No, they weren't under a contract. That's probably the answer.
Yeah, I heard, but it still didn't make sense to me. Anyway, we need maybe.
Too late now.
Next year's start, at least in one of these rooms where the records are at or something, because, like, I don't know if there's
Well,
a
let's
fire
worry about the
extinguisher in
records,
this
but don't worry
building.
about the people that are in the building.
You know, and then, I mean, I'm just, that's something that I think we need to look at.
Okay, let's come back up here.
Okay, then, Vi, you've got the time clock.
Yes, next week,
system's-
Thursday, we're actually gonna have training for that, that's already been done. I think we're waiting on her with the contract for, Tyler Technology for our newest system, right?
I think
Yes.
Herb left. Where's her?
We need to get that over.
There you are. I'm sorry, Herb. I couldn't see you.
The contract with Tyler for our new accounting system, are we ready to go on that?
Brenda, have you done y'all's tax for Pritchard and them? You had some money in the budget for them?
The new
For our new tax system?
Yeah.
Do you have a
Yeah.
contract?
Herb has the contract.
So we're waiting on her.
Okay, and Tyler, we're waiting on them to get
On
the
her
server in
also.
before we can do that.
No,
I've
we're
talked
waiting
with-
on Tyler we're waiting on the contract with Tyler.
You still gonna put it into the server gets put in, right? You said it's over here though, Tyler's over here.
Oh, well, that's, and maybe if, that's not even in the contract page yet.
Okay. The comp sync for the county desktops, Robert, y'all are working with them on that, correct?
Yes, we are. We're getting installed in the county computers as well as the school computers. We met with the gentleman this last week, and we're just finalizing it with the school. We signed some paperwork. They're going to provide us with a link, and we'll be going around and installing them on all the county computers in all the buildings, including the EMS, county yard, and all the other facilities.
And all four schools, correct?
Yes, ma'am. We're setting a meeting right now with the superintendents to make sure they're on board with that. So we'll get that worked out here in the next few days. So it's supposed to report back to us.
Okay, and then,
Number 26 is discuss approve furnishing and sound system for Commissioners Court meeting room. Shelby?
went to San Antonio the other day. I went to Office Galore, Desk Galore, whatever you call it. And I checked their stuff over there. I found a 12-foot table for, I think, the one was $589. I sent pictures to Luana as well as I got the total invoice thing, just in case we would do it. It's a 12-foot table for $589. I found 5 chairs for $149 apiece. I found, well, you can still have it. I found for the outside here for $39 a piece. They're padded with fitted backs. They're stackable. Found a podium for I think it was $189 or something like that. Can't remember. And they would deliver everything. We could increase the order if we need to. I even told we wanted to get a desk for, or Carol, we should look at a desk for over here, something on the table. I total bill was. But anyway, it was total would be right around $3,500 is what I had priced. Then the sound system, I talked with, I went to 2 or 3 places in San Antonio, and then I talked with a Randy Holzman, I think he was the one you gave me, Carol gave me a deal on. He was gonna come over here and look at the room. He thinks he can give us a sound system within our budget that we need. He wanted to look at the room the other day, but the office was locked, so we couldn't get inside. So, other than that, I want everything, try to get everything done by December if we can. But the furniture, mainly the sound system first. And the sound system I'm looking at, I want it to be a portable system where we can take it if we need to go to another room or another event or something, we'll be able to carry it with us and take it where we want to go. It'll be a multi-use system and something that the public's been asking for so they can hear us talk and stuff like that. So, I don't know how, if you wanna just wait on, you know, I can get y'all pictures of what this stuff looks like, and y'all can look at the furniture, or, and then I can get a better quote from Randy on the sound system. We can put them in there more. I mean, but I just want y'all to know what I was doing.
Okay, sounds good. So you want to just pass item 26 for now, right?
Yeah.
Number 27 is discuss approved policy on rehiring of retirees, former employees who voluntarily separated from the county.
This has been an issue, and I can talk on this, people that, if they decide they want to quit, they pull out their retirement, within 30 days, they come back, and they want to go work at the same rate they were doing. And some have been successful in being rehired back. I think, and I've looked at other counties that they're doing, and this happens, they usually put a 90-day or 120-day hiring period. They have to wait that long. Vi, you got anything you want to say?
Yeah, this when Elizabeth Sutherland with TAC was reviewing our policy manual, we had put in there just a little blurb that PCDRS rule is you have to be off payroll for 30 days before you can start contributing against the retirement. And she asked if we had a policy for former employees to come back, and I told her no, so that's something we can add to the policy manual. I think 90 days is pretty standard around a lot of the counties that she has written policy manuals for, but that's up to Commissioner's Court. I think it'd be a good idea because it keeps people from quitting, and then, because they get in a bind and then they come back. And Mr. Wozniak may have a different idea of not rehiring, but it kind of, you know, puts people in a bind. If you quit, well, I'll come back in 30 days, and then they rehire them, so. I just think a policy.
Are people quitting because they need their TCD or else? Are they quitting and pulling it out?
The few that have done that, yes. It's
And
exactly
they
what
have
they're
an
doing.
agreement with whomever their supervisor is to be hired again in 30 days.
Few of these personnel that are quitting, though, we're out there testing the oil field, see if that's even what they want. What's happening, they're finding out that you don't have a personal life when you're out there. So what they're trying to do is come back in.
And I know that we had some people, I know that there was a specific person that quit because we had to get some medical money for his family. You know, that's hard to hold that against somebody.
I mean, it's up to Commissioner's Court.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. What do you have here?
My question would be, Shelby mentioned something about them coming back at the same rate they left at. I mean, I would think that in the policy, there'd be a time frame for that, because that's not exactly fair to bring them back at the same rate they were.
So if it's premeditated, I guess is the assumption of what Mike is saying. But I think we give them a 30-day window. People are going to go try things, and if you can better yourself, take that opportunity to go better yourself.
Oh, but they don't have to withdraw their retirement either.
But you can't
It's
keep
not
them from that
mandated.
either.
Right, you can't, it's their money.
Right, but if you give them that,
They're only taking their money.
Right.
They don't get the match.
Right.
I mean,
No, they don't.
they're actually hindering themselves
Right.
versus helping
Right.
themselves.
Right.
well, but it
So-
also hurts the county too when they take their contributions out when it comes time to calculate the county's match for the next fiscal year. Because our deposits have decreased, so therefore, to stay at the same level, we have to pay a higher contribution rate.
Again, this is just,
What do you want to do?
I just want y'all to know about it, and think about it, because we're gonna come back with all these.
Yeah, we're gonna come back with all the
This is just a
changes.
discussion. I'm
So you're
not-
just thinking aloud?
So y'all want us to
Don't read out on
write
the
a
table
policy
now.
that says for 30 days, and then y'all can yea or nay it? Is that
We'll do
okay?
that by.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll
Is that
do
okay with
that.
y'all?
Sure.
All
I
right,
mean,
okay,
just so everybody knows.
okay. So let's go to number 28. Discuss approve setting look-back period between January 1st through December 31st, 2014 for health insurance benefits for part-time employees according to the Health Reform Act.
Jess is sick, so we're gonna have to put that back on the next meeting in November.
Yes. That's part to do with Obamacare.
Okay.
Yeah, it's part of Obamacare. You can explain it better, because I don't wanna explain it and it be wrong.
I'm not sure anybody understands yet. Okay, now that we're back into employee stuff, let's go back to where we are. Reading of the minutes.
We have talked on October 8th meeting, I wasn't here, but number 15. We discuss action on County Road 125, establishment of local speed limit. Herb, did that meet the requirements?
No. What we have to do is, and I went back in old notes and I found it, and I have to pull it up again. We need to have a public hearing before we change the, and that's why no action was taken. Because I told, I'm sorry, you weren't here that day. I told these guys that day that we have to have a public hearings, but,
I provide, you know, I've got her discussion.
so let's wait till we get that public hearing thing then go, okay? I think there were two roads we did February 2011, we did have a public hearing.
For the month of October? I'll second
On to
it.
number 7, Carol, Tracy was a 1, James was a 2. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. The next one is observance of fiscal year 2014 for the county auditor and assistant auditors and following the state orders of the report as required by local government 154.1 as set by act of Mr. Judge during a public hearing on Tuesday, October 22nd, 2014.
Judges had a public hearing on Tuesday, October 22nd, as stated, and they set the salaries of myself and my assistants, as required by local government code, of the records of the district court as well as the county commissioners court reflect these settings. For the position of county auditor, myself, Luana S. Catchford, the salary is set at $60,000 per annum. For the salary of the first assistant, Michelle Salias, it's set at $37,128 per annum. And for the second assistant, Gina K. Curry, the salary is set at $26,208 per annum. And Carol does have copies to file in the records of Commissioners Court.
Number 9 is discuss, approve, disapprove funding of a cell phone allowance for county auditor as provided to elected and appointed officials and certain designated employees.
She doesn't have one like that.
When the district judges set my salary, they set my salary only. So if I'm to receive a cell phone allowance for anyone to contact me for county business, then the court needs to add it to the salary as set by the district judges.
And that wasn't added in Sunday, was it?
Well, wait a second.
It isn't, when it was done last year in the fiscal budget, it was addition to the salary set by the district judges. If I'm to receive it now, it would be in addition to the salary set by the district judges.
Before we do number 9, then I want to look at number 10, which is discuss, approve, disapprove amendment to the fiscal year 2014 budget to allow for the salary of the county auditor as set by the district judge during the public hearing on October 22nd, 2013. How would we qualify that, Luana, as an emergency or unforeseen?
Amending the budget for the salary because it was unforeseen because the district judges had not had the public hearing at the time the budget was adopted. In the current adopted budget, there is the $1,200 cell phone allowance rolled into the budget as it was adopted.
Because I provided the guys with this, but I emailed Jim Allison about this because we keep talking about the unforeseen or is it an emergency or due diligence. I said our budget was adopted on September 30th, 2013. Today, we received an agenda request from the auditor to amend the 2014 budget because your salary was higher than the 5% presented during the budget. District Court judges met on October 22nd, 2013. How do we classify this as an emergency or unforeseen circumstances, and do we have to? He said the salary order is not timely and missed the statutory deadline.
When I was hired originally or appointed to this position, it was July 1st, 2000, and my salary at that time was higher than the former county auditor. And this has been done in the past. When the district judges set a salary, irregardless if it's September 1st, if it's April 1st, the court has to abide by that setting.
The district court, the district judges, and I understand that, and I'm not disputing that, but they can't make us do an emergency or unforeseen if it's not an emergency.
It's not an emergency, it's unforeseen because they had not set the salary at the time of adoption.
Jim Allison says it's not, and that bothers me. And he's our lead counsel, and it says due diligence, and it's unforeseen.
He's your lead counsel?
He's our South Texas Judges and Commissioners.
I'll give my opinion on this. I don't know what the other guys think and everything. Respect the district judges on this, and I understand it was done October the 22nd afterwards, but guys, I don't have a problem with doing this. I know the judge, I'm just throwing it out there, my opinion on it. I don't know what y'all think. Well, right, what?
But the district judges also know that the budget is set by September 30th, 2013. They know that. They set Wilson's, they set Atascosa's, and...
Wilson's was not set until after October 1st.
But they didn't have to amend the budget. They set them all, but nobody else had to do an unforeseen or emergency budget.
It's not an emergency, it's unforeseen.
It's not unforeseen.
It is too, because they had not set the salaries. 5%
The district judges know the budget.
district judges
And you
had
put
not
that in
set
there,
the salaries.
Luana, but I don't think it meets the statutory requirement. Jim Allison's telling me it doesn't. I asked her when it first happened, he said it's a stretch. He said ask Jim Allison, and that's how we got this far.
Well, guys, ultimately, it's our decision up here if I can sit here, so.
No,
It's
it's
what
not.
It's a-
No, it's court order, but I'm saying, you know what I mean, we're gonna push that on. Yeah, I know
It says-
before, we've always done with the district judges.
Well,
Yeah.
if you don't, then the budget's going to be over, because the order is there, so it has to be paid.
Commissioners Court may authorize an emergency expenditure as an amendment to the original budget only in a case of grave public necessity to meet an unusual and unforeseen condition. And everybody comes in here and tells us that that hadn't been done. If the court amends the original budget to meet an emergency, the court shall file a copy of its order amending the budget with the county clerk, and the clerk shall attach the copy of the budget. And that's when I called Mr. Allison or emailed him, and he said the salary order was not timely and it missed the statutory deadline. And we're the only ones that have been asked to amend the budget to increase salaries. And when this happened before, Luana, you're the one that told me, you said, it happened with Jim Pierce, and you said we can never amend the budget for salaries. And we called George, and he said the
Jim
same
Pierce
thing.
isn't a salary set by the district judges.
Well, they can't order us to do something against statute.
Statutes unforeseen.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Jim Allison says it's not.
Jim Allison doesn't write the local government code.
Mr. Yarder, you got something to add to this?
Yes. To
The Commissioners Court has already set a precedent approximately 65 times of amending the budget that does not meet the criteria as just read by the county judge. To deny the salary raise, go against the precedent already set by the Commission Court.
Either way, there's a motion on which one, we're on 9 and 10 together.
No, we're on
Which
10
one?
right now.
Okay, you skipped from 9 to 10.
I know we kept on asking during the budget process, if the judges had not said anything they wanted, so she kept on saying we have yet to hear, so we didn't know for sure.
But then but Luana did include a raise for herself in there, and now they're asking for an additional raise. She included the 5%, and now it's an additional raise would not be as unforeseen. Because Gina's and Michelle's did the same.
They included that in there because that was across the board what the county was doing for all officials. The district judges have the authority to set the salary of the county auditor and the assistant auditor. The only statutory qualification is that the assistant auditors cannot be more than 5% without the commissioner's court.
Do you think that's fair to everybody else because they set it so high? I know you probably worth it.
I invite anybody to come deal with what I deal with, and when there have been openings within my department, nobody internally has bothered to apply, even though the salaries are higher.
Well, if Jim Allison says we miss the statutory deadline, we missed it.
And the local government code says you will pay what they order.
But they cannot order us to do something that's outside of statute.
He's already set the precedent.
Mr. Yarder, Chief, we're not taking any more comments from
Herb, what's your comment, please?
Herb told me, he said, because you're at the line. That's why he's the one that told me to contact you.
Herb, do you have any comments?
It's kind of like, don't ask me right now.
Don't ask me. We've done it in the past.
No, they've always put it in there, Herb. Last year, it's never been amended to this court.
I defer, Judge is right. I didn't have an answer. I thought it was close. She called Jim Allen.
We're up here for either yea or nay, so I'll make the motion to approve amending to fiscal year 2014 budget to allow for the salary of the county auditor as set by the district judges during the public hearing on October 22nd, 2013, pursuant to LGC 152.905.
I'll give you a second on that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
We'll be back. Exactly. I guess that would be contempt.
It was 3-2, James and Shelby before.
3-2 against. Herb, is that considered contempt? Since it's a court order?
Give me just a little bit of time. Thank you. Put me in jail.
Hey, you're our legal eagle. I'm just kidding, man.
So, thank you. So number 9 is discuss approve disapprove funding of a cell phone allowance for the county auditors provided to elected appointed officials and certain designated employees. As it's in the budget now, it won't, it doesn't need to be modified if somebody decides to file a contempt of court against us for refusing to violate statute, then it might have to be modified. So do y'all want to wait and see?
Well, it's not in there now, right?
Yes, it is.
It is there now?
Yes.
What is there now?
But it's already there now, but if it changes, that's going to have to change too.
It's already there, so what would it make the difference if we just approve it?
But but it's already in the budget now for the 55,000 whatever. It's already in there. But if we go up to the 60,000,
That's not what you're talking about.
No, it's the cell phone allowance.
You're talking about the cell phone.
no, but it's already in there as it is now, as it's in the budget, as we set right now. It's already in there.
So then if you
It's
end up,
included.
if you end up in increasing the salary, the cell phone is already in the budget, then you'd just be increasing the salary to what the court ordered.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, I'm sorry.
So right now, as it is, it's fine. So until we get whatever, it's not fine.
I'm a little bit lost in, sorry. I'm
But
gonna have.
it's there already.
I know,
So no changes in the salary right now. We don't do.
why do we have this on there then?
That was depending on the increase.
So it's depending on the increase?
Depending on.
So if it stays like this, it's fine until you bring it back? Okay.
So let's go to number 29 is the tax collector's report. Brenda, that's you.
Because it's the first month of the year, the current month and year to date will be the same, so I'm not going to say the same. Okay, for the month of October, for the county, collected $194,652.60, which percentage of the current roll collected, 1.8364%. Delinquent taxes, the county, for the month of October, $30,759.93, percent collected for the year 13.3175%.
Brenda, this is for the current budget year.
Yes, because it's the first month, so the month of the year stays going to be the same. Okay. On the road and bridge for October, $39,092.99, percent collected, 1.8343%. Delinquent on road and bridge for October, $7,045.74, percent collected, 19.6079%. For the rural fire, for October, $19,044.41, collect, percent of the current roll collected, 1.8492%. Delinquent, $3,684.32, percent collected, 19.9471%.
Vi wants to, she's got to wait, she's got some other stuff to add, but she's got some good titles. Vi, when are the people going to be here for the Methodist Air Care?
The same day that we're doing the biometric screening, which is going to be December 10th. This is the flyer on how to go online to register for it. If you need any help, just go to the office, we'll help you with that. Just a couple of things. November 14th, this Thursday at 2 o'clock, we are having an investment committee meeting. Place to be determined, depends on Barbara's court. If we can slide you in, we're going to have it here. If not,
You can have it right here, Vi,
Okay.
because I'll be across the hall.
Okay. And Stephen Duke is going to talk to us about some ideas, and I will let him know to be here. November,
It's going to be,
he's not on the committee.
he's going to come for me, so he can come.
He's not on the committee. November 21st, training for Time Clock Plus. That's the new accounting, the time clock system that we're going to be using. We already sent flyers out on that. December 10th is the biometric screening, which I just got you flyers on that. December 13th is the tentative Christmas party. We have the, let's see, you're going to. I thought you said the. No. December 13th. No. No? Did I lie, everybody? Huh?
Hang on. You said it would be on the 6th.
December 6th. Okay, sorry. Oh, I put 13th. December 6th will be the Christmas party, pending money from the banks.
He approved it, but he hasn't told me yet.
Okay, we will have that on the November agenda.
What day is that?
That's a Friday.
Possibly still be.
Me too. But we will have on the November agenda, the last meeting, to set the budget for any monies that we receive on that. Okay.
Payment of bills?
First page, first entry is $1,733.75 on the courthouse phase 1A that is retroactive to fiscal year 13. The second group is payments to Purdue, Brandon, Fielder, and Collins on collections of delinquent tickets from JP1's court in the amount of $18,724.50. Those span 2 months in 2012 and all of fiscal year 13. The new clerk was not aware that she needed to turn those in. She thought they were just reports. That's why those amounts are just now being paid. In the section codish 403 for the county clerk, you will notice an expenditure of $10,962. That was for a new copier. On page 2, under 409 non-departmental, you will see the $13,000 fiscal year 14 budgetary contribution to Karnes Soil, Water, and Conservation District. You will see a $2,293.04 payment for special counsel fees to Denton Navarro. You go to page 3, under section 500, capital outlay. Those are expenditures for the EMS facility and the courthouse and the jail.
On that, there's a, what I see, this was a phase 1A similar cost.
In that category?
Page, 2,273, that's in the 1A.
That's in phase 1A. The reason those are out of different line items than the very first entry on your bills is because they are in fiscal year 14, and that's specifically out of capital outlay this year.
Sorry, should the restoration project, 11,000, should that be listed 2013?
So that's the 11,713. Based on the dates of the invoice, it was dated in October of 2014.
And the one on
Comes out
They've been
wrong.
approved, but just because they didn't, when we pay it, it's what year it was. But yes, it will come out of reimbursement for bonds.
and the legal services for the jail, that comes out to 10.
7 million. But yes,
Yeah.
yes. If you turn to page 4, under the next to the last category, 661, the historical commission, you will notice our $15,000 budgetary contribution. On page 7 is road and bridge expenditures. There is $127,668.44 to Listed Construction Inc. for the debris removal on Walker Crossing Road. There's $7,305 to QB Ruckman III for the fence damages on County Road 302. And then there is $201,262.73 to RDO Equipment purchasing the 2012 John Deere 772 GX motor grader that we have been leasing. And the total bond expenditures out of this bill cycle is $61,037.28. Total bills for this cycle, $571,596.27.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Report of fees, fines, and money collected from the following departments, the county clerk.
For the month of October, we collected a total of $69,288.
District clerk.
I've provided the copy.
So it says civil, Denise is civil, your total?
That's together, it's
Okay.
combined. The shaded is criminal.
Okay, so for civil, she has 6935, and then she has 18,820.81 for her subtotal. Her grand total is 21,044. Less checks dispersed. Her total for the month is 16,588.31. County attorney has Mrs. Hancock was, I mean, not Mrs. Crabtree. For October, she has year-to-date $29,441.45. Compared to year-to-date last year was $39,296.89. Her collections for October were $404.60 with a year-to-date of $59,2667. Justice of the Peace, are any of them here?
No.
I have Caroline. Caroline left hers. Oh, Daisy's, they're all in here. Okay. So I'm filling the top. I thought it was just hers. So Caroline has new cases filed 68. Kept by the county, she has $9,829.60, remitted to the state $54,3750, and the total $15,267.10. Daisy has a total of 126 cases, kept by the county $21,558.61, remitted to the state $9,976, total $30,568.37. Sotelo has cases filed 18. And he has kept by the county 8195, committed to the state 308640, total 112204. Oh, I guess not. That's all I have. Juvenile, I didn't get one. Special Project Tracy, do you have anything?
Brenda's
Okay.
here.
Yeah, Brenda.
Floodplain development for this month is $2,202 collected. OSSF permits, there was a total of $5,600 collected, of which the county had $3,000.
Road and Bridge, y'all have anything you want to do?
We just have the reports of our progress. We've got our bond roads that we can still be present on. And Ron, that's all. So far, bond roads are coming along pretty good. General maintenance, we're trying to keep half of the crew on, bond roads all the time, so that kind of minimizes us on our regular routine. We're just shutting down off and on, sending guys out there to do work orders and stuff. Other than that, we're opening up the Gillette yard, so that's kind of kicking us back a little bit more. Trying to shake that up, because we are going to station an actual crew up there on the north zone to cut back travel time back and forth. Hopefully that'll work.
I know you told us you're going to do 410 from Monday through Thursday and 410 from Tuesday through Friday. Is that what you're going to do?
Yes, we are.
50 hours a week instead of 40.
Exactly, we're going to work a 5-day work week, but we're trying to get the yard up there in Gillette ready. Most likely, the yard in Gillette will be a Tuesday through Friday, and the yard in Kennedy will be a Monday through Thursday. That way we have somebody out here all week to take care of it. And I can't give you a date on when that's going to go into effect, but we've got to get that middle, it's rough. I looked at it on my Google. First thing we got to get up there is restrooms. We might have to put a pocket temporary or something. But it's not very good shape.
Zane did tell me that he was right out there.
No, yeah, Zane's gonna go out there, see what we can get done. Because it is really bad. Questions?
Not at all. Thank you, that's great.
I like the 50-hour week thing. It's in the village.
And the 2 zones within the county.
Okay, once volunteer did not do this week. We got to it, they never made the agenda.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't. You got more?
We've got, I'll give y'all a copy of the update on the policy handbook. The committee met the other day, last week, well, I guess last month.
Yeah.
We had a good discussion. There's some changes that were recommended by the TAC people.
And it's just the pages that were changed, it's not the whole policy manual. And if the area is like a gray area, or like in color, it would be yellow. That's the wording that was changed. The Family Medical Leave Act, the Military Leave Act, the Drug and Alcohol Abuse Policy is totally new. We pulled it directly from the TAC policy manual and changed that. And so it's just some wording on there, but that's just for your review. Whenever Shelby's ready to put on the agenda for full approval, we'll do it then.
You'll have to, if you got time to look at it, and you make any comments, suggestions, I'll have time to look at it. Also, there's been some, talking with Vi, and she's got a lot on her plate, and we were talking that maybe somehow we may need to farm some of this stuff out at one time, just on occasions to help her out. I know some counties now are getting somebody on a part-time basis, on a contract basis to fill in, to help update policies and help just administer the human resource thing is getting so big. With the time clock thing, that might free her up more, but I just want to put everybody on notice that it's something that we may have to look at in the future just to help her out, because that, I mean, y'all don't realize, but the human resource thing is a pretty big package to take care of, as well as trying to make sure it's done right.
Well, also, I had talked to Luana about it a little bit, and we'll talk about it later also, or approve it later on the budget. There is $40,000 for a renewal or to redo the policy manual. I think we're good with this one, but we need someone to go in and format it correctly. Because every time you add something new to it, it just changes the pages numbers, and I don't have time to sit there and correct all that. So
That's something what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And two, we just kind of every 6 months get a hold of TAC and say, hey, are there any changes? And just try to keep it updated as much as we can.
Well, I need to call, I told y'all, we sent the copy to CSI contract for the fire alarm. We need to call them and check and see if they've done anything or when they're going to. I thought they've been there. The paint on the back porch is real rough thing around here. Don't know what else we have.
Can I ask a question on Zane? If we, how are we supposed to contact him if there's work that needs to be done? Is there going to be a work order that we need to write him up? What's the procedure across?
Okay, he's supposed to write up work orders.
Okay, but we request something.
Y'all requested from him, you have his cell number, I suppose. They would call it.
No, we don't have a cell phone.
Don't have it.
And I don't think, is that included in this?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yes, he's included cell phone.
Okay.
So you should have his cell phone.
okay,
Call him and, he's supposed to set up a work order.
okay.
He's supposed to put on there whether it's emergency or take care of it as it come in. You know, if it's emergency, if something can wait, put on it. He's supposed to set up that system.
Okay, okay, well, we didn't know. It's in it for a board, okay.
Jane,
Does he come check it?
No, but,
Tracy?
I have something.
Next item on the agenda is to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.